Good morning. What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Sorry about that. Constant information coming in regards to this attempted assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I think we can officially say it's an attempted assassination attempt. I wanted to slow everybody down because it was too much. Just too much speculative nonsense going around. And I think we got enough to say that. I'm going to try to clue you in on what's up. It is dinner time here in Virginia, and I would like to eat dinner, but this is more important for right now. We'll be back. Cover some things. There's also the whistleblower document, which I'm still highly speculative about. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The DUM Show and his website. Yeah, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Matthew Spirit from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. I want to talk to you about Wimkin.com. Now, Jason Shepard and the Wimkin team came into my life about a year and a half ago. They were saying that it's not a Twitter knockoff, that it's just like Facebook, it's fully encrypted, completely safe, and your privacy is paramount. You can live stream, it's 100% made in the USA. And I took a little time, I'm not going to lie. I wanted to make sure that this was the right company, and it took me a little bit to research and take part in the network, and I will tell you that I am 100% right behind Wimkin. Jason Shepard has created an amazing network where people who are sick and tired of being censored and pushed around by big tech, this doesn't happen on Wimkin. He protects your privacy, And he's willing to stand up to the government and anyone who tries to get it. He's already done it once. It doesn't make him very popular, and that's why he needs shows like us and people like you to support him, to get behind him, and to ensure that the most important thing that we all possess is the right to freedom of speech and to share our voices across this great country. Join Wimkin over at wimkin.com today.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. It's freaking Sunday, man. It's supposed to be football. Buffs won yesterday. Stros won. Stros are coming on, and of course, I'm ready to go to dinner. And, you know, it's Sunday. I don't even have a Don't Unfriend Me shirt on. I'm wearing my old grunt styles because all right. I wanted to make sure everyone had a chance to kind of just relax a little bit. I waited. I am in full 24-hour assess, reassess, check, and then disseminate mode. I'm in Dan Bongino mode. I call this a Dan Bongino mode. It's fairly standard for most cops, military to have the similar reaction. Is you know, you want to try to get it right. So everything I say will either be confirmed or I will declare that it's fog of war. I've been on the phone. I just got a phone call. I was also waiting for a couple phone calls that I always wait for when it comes to Secret Service, government agencies, whatever, of people who I know to kind of get an idea of what's going on. And Secret Service is about ready to talk. So let's tune them in and then we can discuss after. You're going to find out a lot, so we can just watch together. They're not up there yet. So let me just tell you what my gut tells me, which is speculative based upon the information that we have, that there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. If I was to say this is what level of serious credible threat, I would say if we're going through from like an Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo rating, if the Butler attempt was an Alpha attempt, this is probably a Bravo attempt, simply because there was no exchange of fire so far that we've heard from the attempted assassin, and the Secret Service. It's my understanding that he got within about 100 yards of Donald Trump is what the original accounts are, well within range of an AK-47 and iron sights. Fox News was on there talking the AK-47 is, 1,000-foot weapon. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just complete morons. Don't listen to Fox News. The AK-47 is lethal well beyond 1,000 feet. That's just a stupid comment. The assailant was in a black vehicle. I've got some photos of that. An SUV left the vehicle, was in a jacket that was obviously concealing a firearm, and went onto the property. I think it's I-95 is the freeway next to the course. This is in a very busy area. It's international, somewhat decent sized airport at Palm Beach Airport. There is a bunch of industry there. There is a bunch of resi there. Gunfire is not something that is rare in that area. It's handled like a fairly decent city. So originally people thought that, it was just perhaps exchange fire between two vehicles or gang or crime or someone just popping off an AK, whatever. Not really what I would constitute as what I believed at first. There's two reasons. One is because the AK-47 is one of the most distinct sounding weapons ever, and easy to tell the difference between an AR and an AK when it's fired. And if there was fire from an AK, the overall news and kind of mellow reaction we were hearing from the Trump team right away. We were hearing that Donald Trump was showing concern for people who were at the event, wanted to make sure everyone was okay, which would lead me to believe that Donald Trump wasn't any immediate danger from being fired upon. And in my gut, my original thought process was that this was somebody who was trying to make their way onto the course if a threat was there, and they were simply trying to neutralize based upon the gunfire that was in a return state, if that makes sense. So my original gut was, if this is somebody coming after Trump, it sounds like this would be a preemptive fire, not fired upon Donald Trump and then return fire. And the reason why is because of the amount of shots that I heard were 4 or 5 shots. And we would have to assume if they had the vehicle, if they had the rifle, if they had the assailant in custody, then that would probably be return fire. That was my original gut. I want to listen to this real quick and see if I think he's just he's just getting set up. So he's got a statement here that we're going to hear. Here's what we know so far. Assailant was making his way onto the course. It was on, I believe, the 5th hole, which is adjacent to the I-95 corridor. At that point, the guy was in a black jacket, brandished weapon is my understanding. And then immediately Secret Service started to exchange fire with the assailant. Weapon was dropped, and then he went to his vehicle. That's initial report. We're going to find out exactly what happened in just a few seconds. It's my understanding, once again, that the assailant did not fire on Donald Trump, but had the intention to. A lot of people are saying, well, wait a second. What? Wow, dude, he's getting kind of handy. Is that his wife or secretary? Holy crap. People are like, oh my God, how did he know where Trump was going to be? It's not hard to figure out, right? A presidential motorcade is large. This is an airport that he plays, or a golf course he plays regularly at. It's not difficult to figure out. Someone probably tweeted it also, that they were with the president. I mean, these things need to get buckled down. Like, there should be radio silence on where he's at. People who are at the campaign should be told, do not break out your phone, do not use social media, do not post where we are. This is an off-the-record event. These things will all be buttoned down. I mean, and if you thought Donald Trump was getting locked down now, just wait. I mean, it's going to get really bad. Now, if we see him in an exposed environment, I think he'll probably have to limit his amount of appearance. And this is what they want. They want to shut him up. They want him out of the race. They want him to drop out. And this is what I tried to tell you. They're going to do whatever they can to scare him out of the race. They tried law, they tried financial, they tried to smear his good name. Now they're trying to say he's having an affair with Laura Loomer, which, give me a fucking break. Laura Loomer, oh God, please. Not for all the beer in Fort Collins, Colorado. But they're going to try, and now it's going to be fear, and then eventually, if fear won't work, they're going to finally get a professional to do this, because I don't believe that they can have him in office ever again. I believe that now with all my soul. It's too many things like this that have added up to me, and then you just look at the investigation, the impeachment, the constant bombardment from the media. I mean, this is a 100% effort to remove him from office in any way that they can. And now here comes the fear, right? It's going to be the fear tactic. If that doesn't work, they will take the next step. And we all know what that is. I mean, nobody's shocked by this. I don't even think Donald Trump is. I think Eric just posted on Truth Social, how many lives does my father have left? And this is something we should be asking ourselves. I mean, this guy, I mean, geez, Haitians beware. He's got 9 lives. So, funny joke. Something to think about. But where we're at right now is that this is concerning. I'm not trying to downplay this threat. I'm just trying to tell you that there is going to be different levels of threats. This would be a Bravo, in my sense, is that somebody got within shooting distance of him, had line of sight on Trump, and was in the process of making their way to Trump. More than likely, you don't bring an AK-47, you don't bring a weapon unless you plan on using it. And, the reason why it wasn't an alpha attempt, in my opinion, is because no shots were fired at Trump. But you went right to the precipice. I mean, it's still an assassination attempt, no matter how you slice it. Even if they found this guy on the side of the road with an AK with intent to go, that's still an assassination attempt. It's just the level. This is a threat. And it's, if it wasn't for Secret Service heightened security, dare I say that this could be the one that I've gotten. If Butler didn't happen, this very well could have went off without a hitch, and they could have killed him. I'm here to tell you, if I have an AK-47 with iron sights or any type of semi mid to long rifle weapon from that range at 100 yards, it's a drop in the bucket. It's 300 feet. That's nothing. That's nothing. I believe if Butler didn't happen, that this could have very well been successful. Is this an inside job? I don't know. I mean, listen, we need to understand is what do we consider an inside job? In all intents and purpose here, the Secret Service did their job and did it quite well. You know, getting a gun within the vicinity of Donald Trump isn't the hardest thing in the world. Executing an assassination attempt is, and it's going to be more and more difficult. They got the guy in custody. They didn't shoot him. So everyone's going to be like, oh, well, they didn't shoot him. So, what? There's always questions, right? Is it an inside job? I even asked that question in an article last week. Was the assassination attempt in Butler an inside job? And I think we're going to hear some very damning evidence from this investigation that a Department of Homeland Security, the level of training, the level of negligence, and I even told you that I've spoken to a couple of people who have described to me that this situation was purposeful neglect, almost to the point of, well, if we don't do anything, they'll get Trump. So we're going to find out from this report and this investigation what that looks like. This is a whole nother conversation. It's way too early to be talking about intent of shooter, but the intent of the shooter was probably to hit Trump. Now, this just happened a couple of years ago where somebody came onto a golf course in vicinity of us, and he had an AR and they returned fire with security. People go on golf courses and people go on and do stupid crap all the time. People go on try to go on the White House lawn and jump the fence with weapons, and people are killed all the time by suicide by cop. Could this possibly have been that Donald Trump was there and it was an accident? I don't think so, especially since he was on that par 5. This guy was obviously doing some reconnaissance to be able to know he was on that fifth hole. He was on the fifth hole. That's not a lucky thing. There's 18 holes on a course. Some have more, some have less, but this is a larger size course. And the fact that he was there, was in the closest proximity to him, and it was on the fifth hole, it's pretty safe to assume they were going after Trump. Let's listen to this guy and see what he has to say. Maybe he'll grab that girl again.
I absolutely agree with you. That's
all right. They're still just yammering and going back and forth. Let's see.
this.
All right, shut up. They're talking, lady. Shut up.
We are going to give you.
Nicole, let's go to the news conference and listen.
From the FBI, from the Secret Service, from the State Attorney's Office, we are going to give you everything we have. Everything. All right? So when we get done.
All right. It's Sunday. I'm off. Tips, donations, always available. That's how we get funded. That's how we come. That's why we come on in the middle of the day when we're with our family. linktapgo.com/thedumb show. If you appreciate what you see here, helping us out, keeping us going, and keeping us free is a good thing. Here we go.
That you heard. Don't get into what ifs. And because of this, we're not going to go there. All
Good.
right? So keep that in mind and we'll be good. So here we go. All right. 1:30 this afternoon. Call came out, shots fired. That was called in by the Secret Service. Because we're in constant contact with them all the time, we were notified of that, and we had units here that immediately sealed off the area. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great. So we had that information. Our real-time crime center put it out to the license plate readers. And we were able to get a hit on that vehicle on I-95 as it was headed into Martin County. We got a hold of Martin County Sheriff's Office, alerted them, and they spotted the vehicle and pulled it over.
Interesting.
And detained the guy. After that, we took the the witness that witnessed the incident, flew him up there, and he identified as the person that he saw running out of the bushes and jumped into the car. Now, in the bushes where this guy was is a AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them,
No shit.
and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of.
Oh boy.
So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual.
Like I said,
at which time
assassination
the
attempt.
individual took off. So that's what we know about the investigation. We have somebody in custody right now that is a potential suspect. We got a little bit more work to do on it, but as we usually do, as soon as we decide that we're going to book him into the county jail and the charges that he's going to be booked into, we'll get those to you and we'll get a picture of him and we'll get you his background. So now I'm going to turn it over to the representative of the Secret Service, and he's going to make a brief statement.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I first want to thank all of our law enforcement partners, to include the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and the Martin County Sheriff's Office, for their involvement today. Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed following a protective incident shortly before 2 p.m. on Sunday at Trump International Golf Club at West Palm Beach. The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line, and this matter is under investigation. I'll turn it over to my partners over at the FBI.
All right. So interesting. Couple things initially, just real quick. This sounds like a hit. I mean, it sounds like an assassination attempt. It sounds fairly clean. This person had multiple backpacks. They had a sniper's nest created. Ceramic tiles are for multiple reasons. We'll go into that in a second. For those of you who have served, and for those of you who have been in situations where you are going to create an advantage point to take out a target, you know what the ceramic tiles are for. This person probably has some military experience, I would assume. We're going to find out in detail, but immediately what goes off in my mind is that this guy was prepared. He was there and staged this. Now you have to get into investigation of how he knew Trump was going to be there. Is this just because of repetition? Because he knew he was going to be in the area. There were sights of him on the airport. Media constantly talks about his movements. This is gonna be a big one. I'm just letting you know.
Out of the bushes and jumped into the car. Now, in the bushes,
The investigative teams. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Veltri. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Miami field office. The FBI has assumed the role as the lead federal law enforcement agency in the investigation of the incident that occurred earlier today at Trump International Golf Course here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We've deployed a number of resources, including the investigative teams, crisis response team members, bomb technicians, and evidence response team members as well. What we need right now is for the public to avoid the area around the golf course.
All right, so I'm going to pause this guy. I'll go into the ceramic tiles here. So the ceramic tiles can be used for ballistic protection. So that's a round coming at somebody, depending upon the quality of the tile. Now, you're not thinking about your linoleum or anything to that effect, but they could be set up as a perimeter in putting that in the area around the sniper position to stop any incoming rounds or at least slow them down. Now, it's very, very important to understand that these are just reasons why you could consider the ceramic tiles. In a sniper's hide, it's pretty safe to assume that the more secure, the more cover you have, the better it is. It can be used for sound suppression and noise reduction as well. Is having those on the profile of the egress point of the round coming out of the muzzle of the firearm. Ceramic tiles also can be used for like camouflage, things to that effect. And then also heat management. I know it sounds crazy, but this is probably not why you would have it. But understand is that FLIR and other types of high altitude or mid-range craft will use FLIR to go ahead and recognize somebody's heat signature. Ceramic tiles can go ahead and stop that, as they're used for negation of heat transfer in pizza ovens and things like that. These are just some of the reasons. More than likely, it's ballistic cover. to use these things in the surrounding area, maybe around his sniper's nest platform, on the elongation of his body from multiple sides, to have those there just in case to break up any type of fire coming in. He could have put both backpacks side by side and shot through them, and then that would obviously protect him, and it'd have to be a very good shot, almost dead on, in order to hit him. So multiple ceramic tiles in a backpack would explain things. And also, surprisingly enough, when you are in a prone position, depending upon where you're at, it could be woody, could be branchy, could be misleveled, so you would use a ceramic tile to flatten the area. Also could be used. So that's why the ceramic tiles are there, just FYI.
FBI, alongside our partners with the United States Secret Service and the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, as well as Martin County Sheriff's Office and state and local law enforcement. I would ask that if anyone has any information that may assist with this investigation, to contact our tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI or at tips, that's TIPS FBI.gov. Thank you.
David?
I've got some pictures coming in now of the stop. The vehicle is actually going to be over at the 3 o'clock position, right above the hood of the sheriff's vehicle. Here is a better shot of it if you want to know. We'll listen to this thing in its entirety. A lot of this is going to be bullshit. There's the vehicle. Looks like a 4-door SUV. It looks like the tire might have... Looks like you can see there's a slight lean to the left of the vehicle, the black vehicle that the white vehicle doesn't have. It looks like the tires could be deflated on the left-hand side. There's just a slight lean to it that the other vehicle doesn't have. I mean, that's my first gut. Like, I don't know, but it looks like it's pitching forward and possibly a little bit to the left. So was there a chase? Did they use spike strips? Did they do a baton throw on that thing that is specifically designed to take out tires? Did they fire on the tires? These are questions that are all speculative. We don't know.
Hi, I'm Dave Ehrenberg, State Attorney for Palm Beach County. I want to thank Sheriff Bradshaw and our partners at the local, state, and federal levels. I'm here because our prosecutors are currently working up warrants and a motion for pretrial detention for the suspect. In that way,
you guys wouldn't mind, please hit like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit those like buttons. Nobody else is doing this. I mean, I know Benny's on, but it's Sunday.
Does not preclude federal charges that could be coming, but in the meantime, it looks like the warrants and the pretrial detention motion will happen first. And again, I want to thank the cooperation we've had with our federal partners and at the local level. And thank you all for being here today.
Okay, we're going to make these pictures available to you. It'll show you a picture of the backpack and the rifle. And there's also a GoPro on the fence there where he was intent on filming what was going on.
And thank you all for being here today.
Okay, we're going to make these pictures.
All right, so we've got... Yep. Those look like valve packs, maybe? Let's see. Get a little close up on this. Yeah, standard like canvas bag or a valve pack right there. So that's exactly what he did. Okay, so I want you to take a look here. I'm going to bring this over to the other screen. That's exactly what I thought he did. Yeah, it's almost like I've thought about this before. Let me get up another picture of that. I pulled it over too quick to my my computer. Okay, so blow this up, and I'll show you exactly what he did here. That's exactly what I thought he did. I mean, described it to a frickin' T if you want to roll it back. Okay. So if I close this down, now I can highlight and you can see my mouse. Maybe. Come on. Can't see my mouse. Damn it. All right. Take a look at the weapon. You can see the weapon. It's sitting at like an 1130 position. It's obviously looks like it's through the fence. So it doesn't look like it has a tripod in any way, shape, or form. So he's through the fence and he's using the fence and he has it on shoulder, right? So he just left it there and laid it down. The two bags are ceramic tiles. So if anyone's shooting at him, if they're coming from an angle, it's going to offer him protection and line of sight will be severely degraded. And then depending upon what round they're using, if they're using 9mm, those ceramic tiles would stop any rounds from hitting him, and he can continue to put rounds on target. If it's a 308, if it's 7.62 or 2.23 or 5.56, it's probably going to stop 5.56 and 2.23. But if it's 308, he's going to be dead. But the point is that offers him some sort of protection in a nest situation. It honestly just sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't understand why people do this. So professional, no, but professional enough to understand how to create a blind or how to create a sniper's nest, and that offers some limited protection. Sure. So that's exactly what I thought he was using the ceramic tiles for. So that's number one. So we'll you got to toot the horn once in a while. Let's listen to the rest.
We're going to make these pictures available to you. It'll show you a picture of the backpack and the rifle. And there's also a GoPro on the fence there where he was intent on filming what was going on. Even though we're going to have to secure a couple of areas around the golf course here, the public doesn't need to panic. We know that we got a post office, a library, and a school down the street. So we'll make it convenient for you to get to all the places you need to go, get your kids to school, get them over here to the post office or wherever else you need to go. It's safe. There's no more danger here, and we'll make it very convenient for you. So having said that, we're going to...
Listen, I think people need to understand when people go, is this a professional? If it was a true professional, Trump would be dead. Again, 2 times in a row, okay? You guys have to understand, just because you have the remnants and understanding of basic countermeasures in a sniper's position, that can be found online. That can be in a book. In fact, I think I can even tell you the book where the ceramic tiles were referenced in a Vince Flynn novel. So yes, it shows remnants of a professional, but a true professional isn't going to use an AK-47. A true professional is going to use a hunting rifle. A true professional is going to have a budget. A true professional is going to have an agenda. They're going to have training and practice. They're going to understand and have some sort of distraction for exfil. They're going to not miss the shot. These things are. If a professional does it, you'll see one shot, one kill, and then that person's gone. And then the manhunt begins. But so, is it like the movies? No, it's not like the movies. Some guy comes in and, Mr. Snoggins and money's put under the door. And then that person, sneaks in and fires. And then he has a zip line and a parachute. Give me a fucking break. It's not anything like that. A true professional is going to deliver one round on target, hit target, confirm shot. A second, third shot might show up, but usually it's going to be one shot, one kill, especially at that range. And then that person is going to have an exfil. They're going to break down weapon. They're going to ensure weapon is left behind. They're going to do a lot of things to assure that they're gone, but most of all, not leave traces of an easy way to find where they're at. The closer you are to the target, the easier you are going to be found. So this person probably, if they were a professional, would have been a couple hundred yards back from an elevated position, have line of sight to the course, and then taken the shot. Through the fence is somebody who didn't really think a lot of this through and was seen, and that's not a professional. Professional is not going to be seen. So is it right up to it? No. This person has, just from preliminary basic looks at what he was doing, had some basic knowledge on how to create some sort of nest or a hide. But did he effectively do it? No, because it was seen and Secret Service fired at him without him delivering a shot. So something to think about.
Up to who you want to answer the question.
Sure. Did this individual make any statements as he was being detained?
Oh, Ashley.
No statement right now as far as...
Ashley, Olivia just yelled at me. Thank you so much for your donation. I didn't see it. I'm in the zone. Thank you so much for your help. This keeps us going. Thank you.
Statements as he was being detained.
No statement right now as
yes,
far
Carrie, it was
as
another
his
attempt.
Involvement in the incident.
I can say that, yes, 100%.
There's further investigation to be completed.
This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, 100%. No doubt in my mind. I'm not calling that too early.
I misunderstood, or I couldn't quite understand. So there was a rifle, so one of your agents saw on the golf course, saw a rifle pointing to a fence. Was it a chain link? Okay. So
That is correct, yes.
And the president or the former president was on the force behind him. How close?
Yeah, this is just like a tote bag on the left, and the right side is actually a backpack. It looks like he's got a couple carbingers up there, so just a standard oval clip carbinger. So the GoPro is up there recording. The GoPro is an interesting thing because it provides visual confirmation, but this is going to be on, if you hit, you're not using it for you to range target or anything else. Now, it's interesting because GoPro has several capabilities, and you can download firmware and software that can actually give you the range to target with a GoPro and other type of things that it will do. It'll focus on the target. I don't think that's the case. I think this guy's recording this and ultimately wanted to get it on camera. That leads me to believe he's not a professional. It literally looks like a tote bag that you would get from Bath and Body Works, but it's a camo bag. That's interesting. That shot, it's also through a lot of foliage, you know. It's just not a pro. It's not a pro. It doesn't feel like a pro. Just saying.
That because the bubble moves through the golf course.
Not yet,
so
Bobby.
Once
I hear more, maybe there might be some coincidence, but right now, no.
The rifle was pointed out. Our agents engaged. We are not sure right now if the individual was able to take a shot at our agents, but for sure our agents were able to engage with the subject.
And I'm not devaluing the seriousness of it. This guy could have killed Trump. I mean, just like Butler, he should be dead. If this guy had line of sight to target, Trump should be dead. What I'm giving you is the level of, like, is this Iran? Is this a professional? Is this somebody who works for a 3-letter agency? Is this a former Force Recon or MARSOC guy? Is this an old team guy? Right now, I don't see any of that. This guy probably is somebody who shops at a military surplus store. This is probably a guy who goes out and has done some hunting. This is a person who has some sort of training, whether it be a 3%er or survivalist, possibly military. Military doesn't scream at me yet. There's just a lot there that doesn't scream military to me. First of all, the selection of weapon is number one. AKs can be a very powerful weapon and a very strong weapon, but for a single shot, there's much better selections that are cheaper, easier, simpler to use and get into place. This kind of changes the original reporting, like we expected, that this guy was in a long coat, like a trench mafia from Columbine. That didn't make much sense to me. Somebody's just not going to walk up with a trench coat and an AK who's a serious threat. Is a fucking crazy guy. This makes more sense to me. And then obviously he ditched weapon. As soon as he was fired upon, this guy bolted. He didn't want to die and got to his vehicle and tried to bug out, and they got him. He left so much physical evidence there, they were going to catch him no matter what. I mean, this guy was laying in position for a while. He built that. There's fingerprints all over his shit. There's DNA all over his shit. They would have had him within, a few hours. Yeah, this guy was not a professional, but the severity is he took a shot at Trump and he tried to kill Trump. This is a second assassination attempt. So that is completely serious. This guy's Secret Service, by the way, talking.
I don't know that. Doesn't appear so.
I'm sorry. People are asking questions, and this is bullshit. G.I. Joel says, so you can confirm 100% this was an assassination attempt on Trump, with no doubt in my mind. Like, I'm all about Dan Bongino 24-hour wait, but that's a sniper's hide. It's a sniper's nest. It's completely obvious. It was on the 5th hole. Trump was there. He was coming up on that shot. The guy waited and was seen by Secret Service. This is exactly what an assassination attempt looks like. Now you're going to see the Secret Service, maybe not a professional hit, but now they're going to check everybody's Instagram, everybody's Twitter. They're going to scrub this guy's phone. They're going to scrub his IP. They're going to scrub his house. They're going to find out how he found out where Trump was going to be. And then there's going to be a complete change. Like, there's going to be a blackout 100% on Trump events with phones, unless it's a major pre-announced rally. But anything not pre-announced, they are going to tell Eric Trump, they're going to tell Junior, they're going to tell Barron, they're going to tell Ivanka, they're going to tell anybody who, a governor, a state legislature, you do not post where we are, you do not post where Trump's going to be. There's going to be a blackout because they're going to find out that this guy more than likely found out Trump was there from social media, more than likely.
How far away was the president? How far away was Donald Trump when this gentleman was caught and stopped?
I got it. Probably between 300 and 500 yards. But with a rifle and a scope like that, that's not a long distance.
Yeah, and for the Fox News, it said 1,000 feet is the max range of an AK-47. You just need to shut up and not talk. Like, just don't talk anymore, okay? Ever again. Just don't speak. And I'm not going to count who it was. I'm not going to say who it was, but this guy is not a main anchor for a reason. I know he's a weekend anchor, but don't 1,000-foot AK-47. That would be a stretch. No, it wouldn't. It would be a drop in the bucket. And so is 300 yards. It's not I still wouldn't use an AK for a 300-yard shot. Just so many better selections that are going to be able to deliver, the package to the target in a lot more effective way, in a lethal way. 7.62 is a great, but we don't know if it was a 7.62. We don't know what round this was, what caliber it was. We don't know if there's any modifications to the AK. So let's just slow down and just wait and see.
That's not a long distance.
Not at all. He's right.
For the Secret Service, how far was your agent from the would-be assailant?
Good question.
I'm not sure right now.
How far is the agent from the assailant? Is what he asked.
4 of those from your agent?
That is correct. 4 to 6. We're not sure yet.
Was there a long distance? Explain why.
Yes.
So to me, just FYI, here's the way I imagine it. Secret Service agent is in uniform. He's probably down at the other end of the hole. Trump's teeing off. It's my understanding he was putting on the 5 because that was something he texted. So he could have been putting on 4, ready to go to drive box on 5, or putting on 5, ready to go to 6. I don't know. I wasn't there. But to me, everything's intact on that sniper's nest. I mean, those bags, if it was high-powered rifle, it would be torn up to shit. It's probably small arms fire. Whatever this guy's carrying, 40 caliber, 9mm. It's a good chance it was small arms fire. That's initial thoughts is because if you hear an AK going off, I mean, those Secret Service would be going batshit. I've got a picture pulling up and it's extremely. So there's the International Golf Club. It looks like he was putting where this red mark is at, and shooter would probably be down. It looks like there's multiple roads here. He must have come up through the fence line, which could be in the inner parameter of the golf course. I don't know if this is dead balls accurate, but 300 yards could be anywhere from, these outer lakes and somewhere around a fence line, or he could have been, on all the way to the left, which looks like this is a road, and then this is a freeway or an interchange. I don't know the area very well, so I'm speaking out of my ass. I don't see enough here. This looks like a Google Map shot. Maybe we'll go into Google Maps and look at it, find out where the 5 is, and we can start, assuming where the nest was. At this point, it doesn't matter. This guy didn't get a shot off. Secret Service saw him, and then obviously started putting rounds down range on him. More than likely, somebody who is using a handgun from quite a bit away. If they had a high-powered rifle, this guy more than likely would be dead, especially with 4, 5, 6 shots. When you say 4, 6 shots, it sounds like small arms fire to me. That's my gut. Someone pulled their service revolver and started plugging away and trying to get this guy scrambling. That's my gut. But once again, completely speculative.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, shooter is in custody.
How this was able to happen, and for future reference, is there any security in the golf course?
I didn't hear all that. Could we say that one more time and talk up a little bit?
So how was this able to happen, and for future reference, is there any security in the golf course?
Well, you got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery. So when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight.
That's right. That's my thought.
And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. Well, because...
Okay, now this is bullshit. Like this right here, this is pure negligence. I don't care if he's the sitting president. The sitting president hasn't had an assassination attempt on his life that's had any public exposure since Ronald Reagan. So you have a former sitting president. Why the fuck isn't his Secret Service detail at alpha level? This is where I have a problem. This is the same old shit. They didn't take the first one seriously, and they almost got unplugged again. You should have people. You should have dogs there. They should be walking the perimeter. They should be hitting those lines. They should be doing fence checks for any type of breakage. They should be checking parked cars anywhere around that entire golf course. It's fucking bullshit. This is what he's saying right now is completely asinine, stupid. Dumb. He was this close again to getting killed because they didn't do their fucking job. Former president or current president, he's the most hated man in America, and honestly, probably the world right now. Can you think of anyone who's more hated besides Bibi Netanyahu and that's it? Who else is more hated than Donald Trump? You should have 100% saturation and penetration of security. Bongino's going to fucking eat this guy alive. Bongino's going to kill this guy. Like this guy, he just got put to death. Bongino's going to eat his lunch. Because that statement right there is the dumbest fucking statement I've heard. I'm in before Bongino. Bongino tomorrow morning, first thing on his show, he's going to rip this guy a new one. Watch.
The areas that
I'm pardon my French.
the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little more people around the perimeter.
This is stupid.
But the
Shut up.
Secret Service did exactly what they should have done. They provided exactly what the protection should have been, and their agent did a fantastic job.
You just said it wasn't. See, God, you just said that the Secret Service didn't do their job, that the Secret Service didn't fulfill the maximum exposure that they would need in order to protect the president. There's a bunch of bushes everywhere. Right. So you better put fucking 300 agents out there. This guy is this close to being the president of the United States. We are 50 some odd days away. And you don't have full secret. He's been shot at once. It's not like this is a surprise. It's not like you're sitting here going, I wonder if people are going to take a shot at Trump. You know they're going to try to kill him. This is on your watch. And if we don't have Secret Service there, then you pull in the National Guard. Then you pull in every sheriff in the county. Do you know how many sheriffs there are in Florida? Give me a break. This is a shit show.
Which direction was the shrubbery where he was? North, south? Or I guess east, west?
What direction is the shrubbery?
The layout of the golf course,
Is it
you've
west?
got 3 holes, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
All right? One of them runs parallel to Summit Boulevard. One
Yep.
of them runs parallel to Congress.
Yep.
And he was in an area in the
West.
shrubbery where he could see both holes.
West.
So the president was another hole back, which means he's about between 400 and 500 yards away.
So he was on the golf course?
Oh, he's on the golf course, yeah, but he's back a ways.
For the Secret
It sounds like where I thought he was. He's over by the west, in between the lakes, where that shrub line is and that smaller road is. That's because when his car and his vehicle was pulled over, if you take a look, it looks like a resi road. It doesn't look like a 4-lane highway or freeway. So you've got, let me see, 1, 2, 3 lanes. That might be a little bit bigger. But to me, just like stick me in the middle of the forest and find my way out, which I'm really good at. It feels like he was west. Just looking at the sun lines, looking at the quick map that I've got. You got to remember, guys, I used to do satellite imagery analysis. That was one of my jobs. So like, it's like walking in and trying to fix an air conditioner, and you see the thermostat and you hear, the air conditioner. You've been doing it for 30 years. You're like, oh, okay, this is a thermostat issue. Oh, no, this is a power issue. Oh, no, this is a fan or turbine or engine issue. You kind of got a gut feeling. Gut feeling is he's positioned west. That's my initial reaction. But I haven't looked at the overall terrain. I haven't looked at the map. I haven't looked where the roads are. But even he was about ready to say west, it seemed like to me. And if that's the case, then now he's 400 or 500 yards away. This guy's talking out of his ass. That frustrates me. The first thing you said, he was 100 yards. Now it's 300 yards. Now it's 400 or 500 yards. Why don't you say he was a mile fuck away? Sorry for the language.
For the Secret Service, have you guys changed at all the way that you guys are protecting former President Donald Trump? This is now a potential second attempt on him. Can you just elaborate on how things have changed and what you make of all this?
Yes, the threat level is high.
No shit.
We have increased the amount of assets that we've supported, so we live in danger times. So yes.
Dude, your guy, your boy right there from the sheriff's department just said, yeah, shrubs are hard. Shrubs are hard. That's what you just said. Like if I was the Secret Service, I'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we want to thank the Palm Beach Sheriff's Department, but they are no longer speaking on behalf of the Secret Service. Let us be clear what we did. We were there with dogs for the last 48 hours. We knew Donald Trump was going to be here. We checked the staff. We made sure that we had multiple sentry points on each hole that moved with Donald Trump that created a soft perimeter of 350 yards, a hard perimeter of 100 yards. These are the things that we did in the steps. We had motion trackers in place. We had FLIRs in place. We actually had high surveillance aircraft and drones in place. We made sure that Donald Trump was covered. And the moment that we saw this guy, that there was a lapse in our security, there was an attempt to eliminate his life. That's what should be said. But no, shrubs are hard. Shrubs are really hard. They're tough. Hey, these are hard times. Yeah, you know what? If you're a sitting Secret Service agent and you lose a fucking president-elect or potential RNC Republican nominee or future possible president, you think times are tough now. You wait. This is now twice. You guys got to get your shit together. And if you don't know how to properly run operational security, then you need to find the top 10 highest private security operation teams in the United States that do HVT protection and employ them, because you guys don't seem to know shit. I destroyed the Butler. 4 out of 5 OPSEC areas of opportunity were completely blundered. It sounds like multiple blunders in this, not as much as Butler, but this guy sounds like he was fairly far out. And a 400 or 500 yard shot security perimeter is a pretty good perimeter. Folks, that's 1,500. You're talking at 500 yards, you're talking, what, 1,500 feet? That's still not a huge difficult shot with the weapon that they had, but that's a hell of a lot more difficult than 100 feet or 100 yards. That's my point. Whoa, can't play that song. Sorry.
We're done with questions right now. There's really nothing more for us to add. I just want to tell you, the Secret Service and the FBI and the State Attorney's Office have been fantastic to work with. And I can tell you right now, our agency with this real-time crime center was fabulous. That's how we got the guy. We started out with, we don't know anything, to where we had a tag, we had a vehicle description, and we got an area where we saw the person. So be proud of your law enforcement. All right, thanks, folks. We'll get back to you.
Yeah, that guy should never speak again. Sorry. Like if I was the Secret Service, I would be like, dude, you completely threw us under the fucking bus. Shrubs are hard. Shrubs are tough. Now, I have empathy and sympathy. No, I don't. I don't have sympathy. I have empathy. I understand this is hard. It's the fog of war. There's a lot going on. What should you say? Less is more. He should have went up there and just said, I can't answer that question right now. It's an ongoing investigation. I know you guys hate that crap, but it's the best thing to do, because then you don't inadvertently throw people under the bus. You don't inadvertently, make yourself look complicit in negligence. You know what I mean? So let's listen to the rest. Then we're going to. Hey, I want to thank Ashley for the $50 donation. Thank you, Ashley. It's Sunday. We're not supposed to be on, but every bit helps. It keeps us on. We're 100% funded by you. I don't know if you guys saw the video of Facebook throttling one of my videos today. Holy crap. Like total evidence of them manipulating the likes and shares. Go on the Facebook Donut Friend Me page. It's ridiculous. I showed you guys how, we were making $8,000, $9,000 from Facebook advertisement, and last month we made $2.51. Well, that's because of donations. You guys have been carrying us, keeping us going. We appreciate you so very much. So thank you for helping contribute to the Donut Friend Me Show at linktapgo.com/The Dumb Show.
Where on 95 was it?
There it is, an attempted assassination of President Trump, say officials yet again. A suspect in custody after a Secret Service agent saw a muzzle poking through the chain link fence in the bushes at the Trump International Golf Course in West Palm Beach, Florida. The president we just heard was from 300 to 500 yards away. A Secret Service advance agent opened fire at the gunman. Officials just said that with the rifle and the scope, that's not a far distance. A witness saw that gunman, alerted police.
I'm just letting you know, 300 to 500 yards, a lot of people aren't going to make that shot. Okay, this is very different than Butler. Iron sights most military servicemen 300 and 500 with iron sights is a drop in the bucket. Not a drop in the bucket. A 300 drop in the bucket. 500, it takes a skill set. Most people qualify with iron sights between 300 and 500 yards in the military with no optics whatsoever. So I'm not saying that it's a hard shot. What I'm saying is that if you selected the amount of people in the United States who can make that, it's probably maybe 8 to 9% of America, and that's still 30 million people, right? So that's a lot of people. But hunters can make this shot. Basic sportsmen and rec can make this shot. Any military police who've used something other than a handgun can make this shot, and an amateur can make this shot. My point is, Butler, like my grandfather, could have made that shot. Blind as a bat, and he's been dead for fucking 15 years. So that shot is a drop in the bucket. Like I said this, and then all of a sudden Fox News said it, and then Trump said it, is that it's like missing a 6-inch putt. That's how easy the shot in Butler. This is a 3-foot putt. Do you understand? Yeah, Tom says 500 yards, 10 and 10 with iron sights. A Marine is going to be able to make that shot every day of the week. Army, most Army guys are going to be able to make that shot. Navy and Air Force, most Navy and Air Force probably are not going to make that shot straight out of boot camp effectively, like 10 and 10. You give me that, you give me an AK-47 that's zeroed in with optics, I'm going to make that, that grouping is going to be small enough to be dead center. So most people who've had any experience with a rifle are going to be able to make that shot. What I'm trying to tell you is it's like you're not going to pick up a rifle with iron sights at 500 yards and just start, throwing rounds down range and expect to hit it unless you've made these shots before, unless you have a little practice behind a little wheel time is what I'm trying to say. I think most people would agree with that.
Police took a photo of the SUV and the license plate. They were able to then get the SUV on I-95. The Secret Service said the sheriff did an excellent job, exactly what they should have done. Their agents did, he said, a fantastic job. A tragedy averted today. We are continuing coverage of this assassination attempt. The second one of former President Trump continues. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Shawn.
And I'm Molly Line. Eric, good to be with you. Dramatic breaking news right now. Former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker will be joining us here in just a moment. The AP reporting that the suspect pushed the muzzle out of the muzzle of the weapon through that fence line. That was just relayed in that press conference as well. And that is when the advance team spotted things and began to move in a few holes ahead of the former president, opening fire at the suspect, who fled and then was swiftly captured there in the nearby neighboring county of Martin County.
Thomas says anyone could have done rapid fire and hit him. I don't agree with that at all. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. No, not anyone. No. You're not going to have that nest. You're not going to have that angle. You're not going to have the range to target. You're not going to have ceramic with 2 bags, protecting yourself. Honestly, I bet you $100 that those ceramic tiles saved that guy's life. I completely disagree. Anyone who has not picked up a weapon before is not going to be able to make that shot. It's just, I just think, Thomas, you're so far removed from being a complete rookie behind a weapon system that you just don't remember how bad you were when you first started firing. And you might be one of those guys like me that picked it up and just started fucking dead ringing with a BB gun and popping cans from, 100 or 50 feet when you were 6 years old. Okay, but first time you picked up a rifle, there was some wheel time behind that before you started being effective, especially at 500 yards. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that 500 yards is an extremely difficult shot. What I'm saying is for a complete amateur to deliver a kill shot through shrubs, through a fence, with longer distance, rolling hills, and using and understand that windage will become an issue at that range, that Corvallis effect does become an issue at that range, understanding where Donald Trump is standing from an elevated position on a green or a lower position. There's a lot of variables there. You also have heat index coming off there where he is low to the ground, so you might be seeing some heat imagery issues. There's so many different things that can take place in that shot. Somebody just rapid firing an AK-47 from 500 yards, chances of hitting Trump in a kill death shot, who doesn't have any experience, I don't think it's huge. Yeah, I don't think it's huge at all. I think it's 0. But if you've done that type of thing before and you understand all of the things that I just told you about, and you understand the overall reaction and natural progression of a round downrange, and you can deliver that thing on target, Trump's dead. Again. That's my point. Okay, cool. Thomas, we've been firing since we've been this big, but you know, Maggie's Drawers hits all of us when we first started. We sucked. Everybody sucks. And you get better, just like playing guitar. It's like somebody saying, oh, well, I picked up a guitar when I was 6 and I'm just as good now at 40. I don't think so. You may have been a protege at 6, but you have advanced and you're much better now. That's my point. But all the things in Butler that weren't taking effect from just overall Corvallis effect, from windage, from heat bounce coming off the ground, from overall angle and trajectory, from all of the things that he has in place with shooting that at 500 yards versus what Butler did. Butler was a 6-inch putt. This was, for anyone who had some basic training, a 3-foot to 5-foot putt. Make sense? Good.
That witness had spotted him getting into a vehicle, taking a picture of that vehicle. That information rapidly relayed, allowing the capture to occur swiftly.
Vice President Harris says that she...
Yeah, Naz, you and I agree. See, Naz is Marine Corps, and Naz and I think a lot alike. Naz says, so very curious about the security perimeter that allows a gunman that close. Completely agree. I said the same thing. Bushes are hard. So Naz is former Marine Corps. He's Marine, just former in the Marine Corps. Always will be a Marine. And we work together. Good dude, knows his shit. Guy does incredible rucks. He works with some really cool former military, does some great things with the military, and he's just overall a good dude. His question is mine. Perimeter is the issue that I have, is how did this guy get within 500 yards? Like I said, you're going to have a soft perimeter of, 250 to 300 yards. Excuse me, hard perimeter, 250, 300 yards. Soft perimeter would probably start lighting up at the 500-yard mark. Extremely soft is going to be 750. It's way too close. Like every single road from around this golf course that we're seeing right now should have had presence on it. There should be Secret Service at the entryways to the golf course. They should have a list of employees who are there. Any car that's parked along those roads would immediately be a lockdown situation. Like if there's a car parked and it's off to the side of the road or has a flat tire or whatever it would be, it would immediately shut down and cut off that perimeter, and all Secret Service would be notified, and they would start sweeping that area. I believe that he's off to the west here. Like I said, down by these two lakes. That would make sense to me, and it looks like that road, or possibly all the way to the east, which looks like, but there's not a lot of shrubbery. We're not going to know. That's the problem with this. My gut says west. We'll find out. But there should have been... This is the problem, okay? When you have Disneyland, you don't go ahead and say, all right, we're just going to go ahead and post everybody. It's a small world. You're leaving yourself, well, it's a lot of park. Well, of course it's a lot of park. So you need a lot of agents. So specifically, I would have multiple drones flying over there with FLIR capability that is going to be looking for heat signatures through those trees. And you can, through a canopy, that's not a dense canopy, you're going to be able to see heat signatures of that guy. FLIR is an amazing thing. And it doesn't matter whether it's night or day. You're still going to be able to pick up remnants of that, of a person inside there. The fact that they saw him with a muzzle or a barrel protruding from the fence, that just doesn't seem... That doesn't make much sense to me, right? There's got to be another indicator, right? My opinion is they looked at and saw the two bags. They saw movement. Something triggered this. But to say that, you're talking about how many square miles here that some random Secret Service guy just with a pair of binoculars saw a muzzle come through a fence in a highly foliaged event. I don't know. I think we're going to hear something that possibly there was a report of this guy entering the area. They saw movement. Something happened. Maybe a drone picked him up. Maybe they did have heat signature of him. Something else. But this whole thing that, I've got eyes like a hawk and I saw someone put a muzzle through a fence. I don't think so. Especially the profile of those two bags that were blocking in that nest with the ceramic tile in there. That's an extremely low profile to see a body, and to take a piece of metal that's 16 inches or 18 inches or 21 inches and have it protrude out of a fence, and you're going to tell me you saw that, and then not be right on top of that target, and you're a couple hundred yards away when you saw it, there's too much fog of war here. There's too much speculation here. But that doesn't sound right to me at all. And I think everyone else is kind of on the same page. I think we're going to find out something else, that we saw him enter. Maybe they saw a vehicle. Maybe they saw somebody moving around. Maybe they were just doing a sweep of the fence line, which would make sense. And they saw the 2 bags, whatever. There was some indication of why they saw him. And we're going to find that out later, I'm thinking.
That the former
Yes, I would have dogs there. Evelyn, that's absolutely correct.
president is safe, as well as President Biden saying the same. We have much more on all this. Lucas Tomlinson is standing by at the White House with the very latest from there. Lucas?
Suspect's name is Ryan Wesley Rout.
Well, Eric, here's what we know based on that press conference from the Palm Beach County Sheriff and the FBI.
Yeah, Naz says, I read that drones help. Exactly. Like I said, FLIR is going to be able to pick this guy up like a I don't know, like a tick on a shaved hound. It's going to stand out. So that's where my gut. I think this bullshit they saw a muzzle is crap. I think they don't want to divulge countermeasures that they have. And the counterintelligence apparatus that they have within the Secret Service, telling people what to look for. But it also brings me back to the ceramic tiles. That if this guy somehow could have created a lean-to and put ceramic tiles there, that would stop FLIR, at least to a certain point. You would see a big white blob, which might ultimately tell them that there's something there. But the whole analysis of why he has ceramic tiles there, they're for ballistic countermeasures, of course. But there's multiple reasons to have ceramic tiles in a nest. And if you're a sniper, there's multiple uses for ceramic tiles in a nest type situation, especially when you're going to be there for a while. They named the suspect. Yeah, I just put, is it Ruth? Routh? Hold on. Dinner's ready. I gotta go eat. I'm hungry. East West Yorkshire, Routh. It's English. Yeah, I thought so. If that's what it is, if it's Routh. Ryan Wesley Routh. That means they got his Twitter and his Instagram page down. Am I saying it correctly, Routh? I'm going to scoot forward here. Yeah, his social media has been scrubbed. Let me see if I can scrub this here.
I'll tell you, first of all, you said the best thing ever. Head golfing at Andrews, it was always a great thing. Not that security lacks, but you also have the U.S. military there, which made things.
Yeah, there's no way that they saw that with a rifle muzzle coming out of the fence.
And this was not a shooting today, and the former president thankfully was not hurt. But the suspect currently in custody.
That
they have a suspect.
I'll get a picture.
Perhaps was not overly looked at because it was an SUV that looked like a member of law enforcement's SUV. So these are all questions we need to ask. But as far as motive, as far as any other information, we just don't want to speculate. Of course, we all want to know the answers, but as of now, we just don't know those answers.
Yeah, and don't you think this will instigate calls tomorrow to ramp up the security on former President Trump?
Why didn't we do it before?
Oh, absolutely, no question. It'll ramp up the calls to change the security, to change the perimeter, if anything, because the security apparatus, as far as the people, I spoke to someone in secret.
This guy looks like a liberal. I don't know. I don't really want to put a picture of a name of a person or a picture of somebody. I'm reading. Looks like this guy had some ties to Ukraine. Okay, there's a picture of him, and it looks familiar. Fucking lefty wacko is what it looks like. Ukraine, LGBT fight. I'm going to put his picture up, but I want y'all to with extreme prejudice and caution. And I know you guys can see it because I just put it up. And this is supposedly him. Now, it does look like the vehicle. It does look like he picked up his shirt to show that he didn't have a rifle. Or, excuse me, a handgun. His page, he's a registered Democrat. Get some information. Registered Democrat is what it looks like. I'm going to see if this is accurate. Hold on. I got some emails here that I'm looking through. Guys and girls, this is how we roll. If you have information on things like this, send it to me. I'm going to accurately ensure that, number one, it's correct. And number two, I will get it out there in a responsible way. And I appreciate, I've got people who I trust implicitly who send me information. I never reveal a source. I would go to jail for a source. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to out somebody. So just got this from a source. Act Blue, Biden for President, Biden Victory Fund, Act Blue. He's from Orlando, Florida. He's given $25. And that's it so far. So it looks like a Democrat. That's what I've got. Once again, if this is incorrect, I need you to do me a favor and scrub that information if it changes. But that's what I'm getting and what I've gotten so far about this guy is he's a Democrat. He's donated to the Biden campaign. He's a big Ukraine guy, big supporter of Ukraine, big supporter of LGBTQ community. That's what I've got so far. Okay. I'm trying to find his job. He has no social media. He's 58 years old. Very little social media. There's some pictures of him in flak jacket and USA gear. Says he's from Greensboro. I don't know if this is the same guy. I don't know if he's the same guy. Talked about fighting for Ukraine and Taiwan. He's got a Palestine map on his social media profile. I don't know if it's the same guy. The picture with his arms up and where he's showing his abdomen, that is the shooter. He does resemble this other guy considerably who is being targeted, but I'm not going to release that information. I will not, cannot do that because I'm not going to get, it's too many times that people jump on this and release this information and they've got the wrong guy on social media and then this guy's life is over. The fuck I'm going to do that. I'm just not going to do it. Yeah, I've got some information. I'm reading people's stuff. Why is the left so violent? Well, because they've been taught since the 1960s that violence gets discourse and change. That's why. It's not hard. When you're told burning shit down and rioting gets progress, and it does. Some of the most influential things in legislation and history have been done because of riots or done because of extreme protests and activists. They're trained that this is what you do, is violence gets change. They're trying to get Trump to quit. And honestly, at this point, if I was Trump, can I just say something? I know we need Donald Trump. Okay, I'm not saying that we don't, okay? But I don't want him to die. And they are getting closer and closer to hitting him. And these are warnings. I'm telling you right now, these are just amateurs doing this. Professionals will get involved at some point when we're closer to the election. And if it looks like he's going to win, you know and I know what's going to take place. just floating this idea. Like I floated the abortion thing that he wound up doing, and everyone's like, you can't compromise. Oh yeah, you guys jump ship on that. Would it be okay to completely Trump to hand it over to somebody else at this point? Like give it to DeSantis or give it to Glenn Youngkin or Nikki Haley or whatever, and just say, folks, I love you. I care about you. You are the most important people to me. But I can't continue to do this. Can you imagine what would happen? I don't want that to happen. I want him to be president. But the amount of people who would come out and absolutely fucking flip out and vote, I think you would see the largest vote in U.S. history. I think that people would come out. I think libertarians would come over. I think independents. I think neocons. It would just be. Can you imagine what a goofy fucking election this has been already? You got Biden dropping out. You got Kamala, the communist, running. You got Trump who's getting shot at every other fucking day. And then Trump says, you know what? Screw this. I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't give a fuck. I don't have any F's to give anymore. I am going to hand it off to somebody who people don't want to kill. Could you imagine? Everybody would just rally around whoever's nominated. That would be crazy. Crazy. And in this election, what else? It's not going to be JD Vance, right? You leave JD Vance on the VP ticket, but you put in Haley, you put in DeSantis, you put in Youngkin. Can you imagine Youngkin coming in and saying, listen, Donald Trump, I can't believe what's happened. And I appreciate him passing the baton. We're going to calm down this rhetoric. Republicans, we're going to bring great policy. You know you want us in office. Donald Trump, he's doing what's right for the country. You think Joe Biden installing Kamala Harris is right for the country? Donald Trump's doing what's right. He almost died twice for y'all. And now he's stepping aside so we can focus on getting this country back. Wow. I know he won't do it. I'm just, this is hypothetical, right? We're just talking. I know Trump won't quit. I didn't say that. Stop it. Stop. Trump won't do it. He loves us. I didn't say that. I'm just saying hypothetically with this election, can you imagine what would happen? Oh, dude. I mean, talk about a rallying cry. A guy would raise $300 million, whoever it was, $300 million in a weekend. This would be Kamala times 10 because people actually care. People actually love Trump. They're loyal to Trump. But man, I'll tell you, he won't quit. And I don't want him to quit. I want him to get it. I'm just saying, how much does this guy have to do? And he has to be counting the cards, right? Eric Trump said it. How many lives does my father have? How many lives? I mean, my God, folks, this is insane. Iran wants to kill him. You've got terrorist groups who've had a bounty on his head. You've got crazy ass Democrats who want to kill him. People are gunning for this guy, and it's insane. Will you come on later tonight? I'm sure we're about to fed misinformation. The left spins it the next few hours. If I'm needed to come on, I will. But right now, I don't think I'm needed to come on. Folks, this is Sunday. We already had, 27 hours of show this week? It's been a long week, man. I even told my wife, I'm like, I need a day off. I need a day off. And that didn't happen. So we are funded by you. Oh, Trump's going to respond to this, and Trump's going to respond to this magnificently, and his money is going to go through the roof, and it should. Remember, I'm just waxing hypothetical here. I'm just saying, holy shit. I mean, I don't want Trump to bow out, but God, man, that guy, what guts? No, they wouldn't, Beth. No, I disagree with that, because you got to understand, if they start shooting and going after another nominee, I don't see that. I really don't, because they haven't taken a shot at any other Republican. The point is that assassination attempts are actually exceedingly rare in the United States. And every 50 years throughout history, we get a major attempt. But this is not normal. You don't just go and try to kill a political leader. This is insane. I mean, it really is insane. I would rather him quit than die, but I just, this has got to be, the conversation's happening. I promise you. I guarantee you people are having a conversation with him and saying, hey, I want to make sure you understand, the closer we get to this election, the probability is that an assassination attempt will occur again at a higher level of success rate than the last two. Are you sure? Somebody needs to have that conversation with him. I mean, just Secret Service needs to sit him down, his private detail. Somebody needs to just make him aware. Are you aware that in the next 50 days, the probability of somebody taking a shot who actually has a contract, has an agenda, who's well-funded, who is an expert, that the probability of that is now moving to almost 100% based upon the current trend? Right? I mean, someone needs to tell him that. And if somebody doesn't tell him that, I'm telling him that. Bongino will tell him that tomorrow. Bongino will say that verbatim. Somebody needs to tell him. How many attempts we haven't been told about? Hundreds. But that, listen, there's an average of about 3,000 death threats of the president in any given year in the United States. And a lot of that's just spit into the wind. Real assassination attempts, there's not many. I'm telling you, it's not every day that these happen. You get remnants, you get words, you get flash traffic that says that some country wants to kill Trump. But an actual physical attempt, how many they actually break up, they break them up all the time. But the true seriousness of them are not as high as you would think. Yeah, Melanie says it right. This is what I'm talking about. And people relax. I'm not saying he should. His speech should be, America, I'm sorry they are doing this, all because I sat between them and protecting you in this country. They are scared of the info. The swamp will be unsealed. I think it's more important for Trump to simply say the following, Melanie, very close to what she said, is I told you I would always stand between you and them, and they want me dead. And I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. The question is, why do they want me dead? This is huge. Somebody needs to talk to Trump. Someone needs to tell him, sit down and say, maybe it's Bongino. I mean, Hannity. I can't even trust Hannity anymore. Did you guys see Hannity and Newsom? Now, it's no, I don't want to do a full show. I got too much to do. I'm going to do this on Monday. I'm not going to do it right now. I got to go. But I do appreciate everybody. I'm going to go eat dinner. It's freezing cold. Thanks for taking care of us. Remember, this show is 100% funded by the listeners. We depend on you to keep the lights on. We're not funded by the RNC. We don't have any secret donors. We don't have the Heritage Foundation or the Daily Wire. We're not syndicated by anybody but Wimkin.com, one of the greatest social media platforms. They don't censor a lot of this information they had out. Yes, I have the affidavit, which is supposedly the affidavit. I'm going to confirm it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I still have not confirmed it. I don't think it's real, but I'm going to continue to push and focus on that. But Wimkin is an amazing source of information that is an open forum of dialogue where a lot of this information you're getting right here is over there at Wimkin.com. Stop on by. It's a social media platform that does not censor, that does not throttle. Do that for me. We would appreciate it. And also, if you can help the show, linktapgo.com/themshow. If you're like, wow, Matt's always on when there's a situation we need him to be on. That's because you help us stay focused on doing what we do best, which is giving you the latest information, scrapping the bullshit and getting it out of there and just giving you what you need to make strong decisions. Let's everyone put your hands together for Donald Trump tonight. Let's make sure we're praying for him. Let's make sure we're thinking about him. This is going to be a long road. I know it's 50 days, but this is probably going to be the longest days of his life. And remember, if he gets in, it's just going to get worse. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We'll see you tomorrow. Maybe. Oh, wrong one. This one. Sorry.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.